Training clinics is a difficult concept. There's no question about it. I mean, we have over the years, and this is my 26th year as a consultant, over 1,200 centers in 45 states, and some of the clients are phenomenally successful, phenomenally successful. By that I mean they don't just double or triple, they quadruple, sometimes even more than outdo anything that I've ever done in my own practice, which is quite amazing. But that's the beauty of a teacher. A teacher can teach a class and then have a student that comes out to be one time, or perhaps more than that, the president of a company or even the president of the country. That's quite possible. I see you as one of those students. You and your partners did phenomenally well with 9 centers and millions of dollars in expenditures, both in billing and collections, and over 120 people you work with. And what you said is absolutely accurate, and that is that sometimes a doctor comes to a seminar, and this happens all the time, but sometimes the doctor is so much into the concept that the consultant teaches, they don't know how to sort through. They take all this information, and you're right, they get pumped up. I mean, they walk away from these seminars sometimes knowing, believing, understanding, and truly wanting to implement all of it, but they're just not sure how. I've dealt with this so many times where I see doctors calling, and as a matter of fact, it's interesting, I just got a call this past week, interestingly enough, something to hear. A doctor called me and said, we joined another group, I want to hear some of the questions about your group. And I said, well, why are you calling me since you joined another group? He said, well, we left them. Not just me, 20 of us walked away from the group. And I thought, wow, I've never heard that. I've heard one perhaps leaving a group, maybe 2, but 20 all at once. And they felt that they were cheated. They felt that they were not given the proper information. They felt that what was given to them was not accurate, and they lost money. So I know you're extremely honest. I've known you. I've heard about you from other people working with you. And it's interesting, as I traveled through your clinics, I also spoke to many of the people who worked for you. And they always had good things to say about you. I know that in your concept, you built on 3 main ideals. One is integrity, the other one is innovation, and the third one is excellence. Tell me a little bit about that. What does that mean? Because everybody could say words. I mean, these words, especially today on the internet and social media, these words are just flowing everywhere. But what does that mean in your case with this, serving impact? How does that get involved into that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for us, from an integrity perspective, it's having integrity in everything you do within the practice. And the integrity is what fits for you from a moral compass, right? But it's also having integrity in your patient recommendations, doing what's best for them, even though it doesn't maybe make you the most money, right? Maybe recommending a cash service based on what it, or versus what insurance may cover. It's doing everything within your world to benefit the population that you're serving. To me, that is the integrity piece, right? And so through our coaching and our training, that's what we try to instill in people, is living to their integrity, right? You're never going to hear these things like, oh, here's how you build to game the system, or here's how you can get around doing this, or this is how you can pay your employees less. And this, everything is really about having the most integrity to allow everybody to live their best life within that. With innovation, there is so much technology, and I'm a nerd about it. Like, that's my passion is I'm always at the MedX conference every year, like learning all of the brand new things that are happening in exponential medicine. But people aren't using it. If you go into the average chiropractor's office, it still looks like it's 1970. Not that 1970 was a bad year, but we're 50 years past that now, right? It's 2020. Like, what do you expect a modern office to look like in 2020? If you're the consumer, I put myself in my patient's shoes, and you go to a medical office and they, everything's streamlined now, and there's doctor portals and all these ways that you communicate with your doctor without even having to go there yet. But yet chiropractors are, come back tomorrow and I'll go over your report of findings. They're still following this 70s model, and the adjustment cures everything, and you don't need any other things, and medicine is bad. And we're trying to, that's my line in the sand. I stand for people that, from an innovation standpoint, that always want to improve, and especially diagnostically too, right? You want to know exactly what's going on with your patient. How do you know that it's X condition versus Y condition if you haven't tested for that thing, right? So to me, that's what the innovation piece is. And then on the excellence side, that was the biggest piece missing for me in practice, and that is what I want to help providers gain. And that is certainty in where they're going. They need to know where they are. They need to know where they're going. But more importantly, what is every step in between that allows them to bridge that gap, right? And how does their staff get indoctrinated into that cadence so that they can thrive on their own without having to take the doctor's time and energy, right? Like, how can they be empowered to know exactly what to do? I think what happens too often is chiropractors have this martyr syndrome where they're like, I'm just going to do it myself because it's too hard to explain it to you. So to me, building the process, building the systems, having something you can rely on, a year goal. What are we doing this quarter to move that forward? What are we doing this week to move that forward? Which means, what are we doing this day to make that happen? And understanding those things is invaluable. So that's what we work with doctors on.
That's great. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell to get my latest update.